Welcome to the Women's Hoop Show. It's here, the final episode of our WNBA season preview mini-series, just in time for tip-off. Finally. Over the past few weeks, we've broken down teams in the league, and today we're closing it out with 4 more. The New York Liberty, Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm, and the Washington Mystics. From title contenders to teams still finding their identity, we're pulling from preseason performances, off-season moves, and questions leading into opening weekend. There's a lot to unpack, especially if you're betting on New York to repeat or wondering whether Washington's youth movement is ready for prime time. I think they are. And be sure to stick around because later in the episode, we've got an interview with Aaliyah Edwards diving deeper into the Mystics, plus her thoughts on UConn's championship. We have a great show for you, so let's get into it. Autumn Johnson. Hey, girl. Welcome back.
Hey, girl. It's been a minute. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great because this has been so fun to watch these preseason games, and it has just built this momentum. And now I was already excited for the season and looking forward to it. But getting these little snippets of these starting lineups and the superstars on the court already by this time, now I'm pumped. I'm ecstatic that this is opening weekend week.
We are in full force. Like the W is here. Exciting plays. The stars are out and they are meeting the moment already in preseason basketball. So I can only imagine what's about to go down during the regular season as we build up to the playoffs and championship. I mean, right now, to me, it's kind of hard to tell who's going to like really go full force for that championship trophy because of the parity of the league. Like, that's what excites me the most. There's not a clear-cut champion. So excited about that, but also excited for you because you broke some big news. Can we talk about it real quick? Odyssey's first ever women's sports radio show. Jordan, congratulations. Like, you are doing all big things, my girl. Always breaking ground, and it is so much fun to just watch you shine and just learn from you, listen to you, and just your enthusiasm for the game. So I'm just looking forward to watching you continue to shine and just spread more light on these athletes who deserve it. But to you, I just had to give you your flowers real quick because you're killing it.
Stop. Okay. I know I'm a chocolate girl, but I'm blushing. That was so nice. Thank you for that.
Of course, had to.
I'm so excited about it. And radio, sure. Like, I've never done radio before, but let's do it because my whole thing is how many ways can I tell women's sports stories? And this is another way. So make sure you guys tune in. It'll also be a podcast wherever you get your podcast. It's called She's Got Next. And that's where the interview later in the show with Aaliyah Edwards is going to live. So make sure to check out the full interview there. But you'll get a snippet later in the show. Well, thank you, Autumn. Your flowers. You're already on our TVs every Friday, and we got even a preview preseason to your Ion show. How was that to kind of kick it off? Did it really feel like, oh, we're back? We're back.
We're
baby.
so back. We're so back. It's so much fun. Like, I am truly blessed to cover this game in this capacity. We're headed out to the Bay Area to cover that Golden State Valkyries, LA Sparks game, which we just saw in the preseason. So we got a little appetizer, but now we got to run it back. And that was a 1-point game. So to be in that atmosphere and to experience that, I'm really excited. Like, shout out to Odyssey for, providing the platform to have different mediums covering this sport, and just also Ion as well for knowing the value of investing in women's basketball, seeing the moment and knowing how important it is for us to be there. So that's where our studio show is going to be. So like, I really love seeing these big platforms pour into women's basketball the way it needs to be. And just like everything that we have going on, that's just a testament to the growth of the sport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was 17,000 people at that preseason game for Golden State. So you are not going to be there alone. It's going to be rocking.
It was when it was a playoff game, too, for the Warriors. Like,
yes,
they were in that building making sure they were screaming, like trying to, I guess, create like a culture and identity with the X factor of the fans, too. Like, they're trying to figure out their chants. I just love it. It's the first for everything. And we're going to see how it just continues to pan out for them, because I still think, they have a lot to tap into, of course.
They do. Last thing I'll say about the Valkyries, they were during the preseason game, they were kind of checking in on the Warriors. They're like, what's the
Yeah.
score? Like, because the Warriors were playing at the exact same time. It gave
Yes.
very like high school girls varsity basketball and their boys team. Like that's what it
They
felt like.
ride for
Like
each other
what's the
already.
boys team doing while the
Right.
girls are playing? It was
Here for it.
adorable. I loved
I
it.
love it.
Okay, well, today
Mhm.
we talked about how there's not this clear-cut champion yet. We're not handing anybody the ring quite yet, but if there is going to be one team that is in the forefront, it is the New York Liberty. So let's dive into this Liberty team who played a preseason game already, and then we're recording this on Monday, so they're going to play at Oregon. Sabrina Ionescu's
Nice.
homecoming is going to be amazing. I know that's going to happen tonight, but the Liberty last season, 32-8, league best record, finished first in the East, first overall because they won the championship. They had a great May, early June. They started off super strong with 8 straight wins, went 5-0 in the Commissioner's Cup before losing to Minnesota, which was
Yep.
such a great preview of what the finals were going to be. And then went 10-1 in June. So they were pretty much untouchable for that whole season. And you had everyone running at full force.
Mhm.
Brianna Stewart averaging over 20 points a game. Sabrina over 6 assists a game. JJ,
Clutch.
who finished the finals MVP, was all in her bag all season long. And then Leonie Fibich coming in and just being this perfect fit for them and their starting lineup. She started towards the end of the season. But we think about that final series, it was incredible, but it was really the whole season that led to them getting to the finals. So, Autumn, do you think they could be back in the
Mm.
finals this season? When you think about, they didn't make a ton of changes, but you add a Rebecca Gardner, you add a
Woo.
Natasha Cloud, which is huge, huge, huge. What are your thoughts there?
100% running it back. I think they will be back on that stage. Whoever they're going up against, good luck. Like, I feel like they didn't need to make any changes during the offseason that were
Mhm.
groundbreaking because of the core they had. Their luxury this year is depth and experience. And I'm talking at every single position. Like, there's no drop off ever. So that's what I'm really leaning towards when I think about contending once again for a championship. They have that chemistry, they know each other, and they know what it takes to get to that moment. Of course, you lost a lot. Like, obviously, Benijah Laney Hamilton was a huge key piece to their success, and Courtney Vandersloot. But you
Mhm.
mentioned it, Natasha Cloud, just seeing what she was able to do during the preseason. Like, she doesn't have to come in and score all these buckets. She's here to be a facilitator. She's here to be a two-way player and also get hers as well. But I think that's just the perfect fit when you think about who's running alongside of us, Sabrina Ionescu. And
Mhm.
just having 2 point guards essentially in your arsenal, you can play on ball, you can play off ball. That can be interchangeable with each other. Natasha likes to create pressure defense. Like, she has tons of backup behind her when you talk about JJ and Stewie. Like, I'm really excited, and I was excited to see the offense they were running in their preseason games, running a 5 out, knowing
Mhm.
anyone could be in any position, cutting, moving without the basketball, penetrating, kicking, pick and roll actions. Like, it's going to be a fun brand of basketball that we're about to witness, and I think the versatility is just going to be their superpower.
I love how you said the 5 out because that was something I picked up immediately. I just said, "Wow, there's so much space." Like there's so
Yes.
much space. And you saw sometimes Natasha Cloud brought it up as a point guard. Then Sabrina would bring it up. Then JJ was bringing it up to start the offense. And it was like it doesn't matter who's starting it. We're in 5 out.
Yep.
Move, get open. And already you can see the chemistry between Sabrina Ionescu and Natasha Cloud, not only on the court, but off the court. She's
Yeah.
wearing t-shirts with Sabrina
I
and
saw
her
that.
husband from the Met Gala on it. Adorable. So there is this chemistry that is building that Sabrina just looks comfortable
Mm,
not having to be the primary ball handler all the time. And then also not having to be that primary defender as the guard. And Cloud, I mean, already she's causing turnovers. She is a pressure cooker on the defensive
Yes.
end. And it is exactly what they needed. Another player, Maureen Johannes, is
Woo!
just
Talk about it.
so fun to watch. Like, must watch basketball. I remember 2 seasons ago, she didn't play last season. She stayed overseas. But 2 seasons ago, I called my dad. I said, watch the New York Liberty. Your new favorite player is going to be Maureen Johannes.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
right, because she's just so electric. And she comes into this preseason game, scores 12 points in 16 minutes with step back threes.
4
and you're
threes.
like, they didn't even have her last year.
Like,
and they won the finals. Like,
yeah. Come on. They're deep. You could talk about everyone 1 through 5, the bench plus some, Ellie, you name it. They got
Ellie.
it. Like, everyone, Ellie too. I'm putting her in there. Maureen was a pure bucket, step back threes. It was hard to keep up with too. She was constantly moving without the basketball. And when you talk about X factors, like we talked about Niara Sablé being in that mix and being a crucial piece to their success. Obviously, Sabrina Ionescu having a lot of clutch buckets. Stewie didn't play in that preseason game, but you got to insert her into that mix. There's so many pieces within this winning formula, and Maureen coming in being that offensive spark that she was beyond the arc, that's just going to continue to open things up. So also a facilitator. I thought she had really good flashy passes as well, to get her teammates some open looks. So I'm very excited to see her now help this team push them just one more notch further than they already were as a champion.
Yeah, and I know we don't want to overreact from preseason games. We are really trying not to do that here. But you still, like you mentioned, in the one preseason game that we have seen until this point, you don't have a Brianna Stewart on the floor. Leonie Fibich isn't with the team yet. She's maybe on a flight right now to get there, coming over from overseas, just won a championship there. So this team is so stacked. And Kennedy Burke, who last season was a role player, she starts this preseason game and does amazing and has the confidence. A Jalen Sherrod is coming in a second year. So they aren't in the same bubble as a lot of these other teams where it's, what's our identity? What are these rookies? How are they going to add? It was like, we are running it back. Our goal, you can already feel it. 13,000 in a preseason game in Barclays. Like, we're going back. We are. I have to too. I have not been to a Liberty game yet.
Me neither.
I need to. Tasha Cloud, she did invite me. She said, just let her know. So maybe me and you we'll pull that card to get some free tickets.
Please. No, I have to experience that environment. It looks like a party out there. Like everyone's vibing. It looks like the place to be. And that's just a bucket list item for me, to see one of the best teams in the world compete in that type of environment. Like, you can't miss out on that for sure.
Real quick though, Connecticut Sun. Like, we're talking a lot about the Liberty. They did lose that preseason game, even though they pulled their starters. You can only really talk about that first quarter, maybe the first half. But the Connecticut Sun, real quick,
we said they were going to be all right. We talked it through. We were like, you know what? Yeah. Hell yeah, they might be good.
Like, and that's what it looked like. It was like, okay, Tina Charles, hello, you are still here. Sorry if we didn't give you all of your flowers, but they still didn't have everybody. They didn't have an Anise Morrow. Sanaya Rivers, real quick, just want to send all of our love to Sanaya. Just recently lost her mother. I know this past weekend was Mother's Day weekend. Just really wanting to lift her up, because I know this is a really tough time, especially after getting drafted and being at this incredible high and then having that low. But the Connecticut Sun as a unit, they want to play fast. And I don't know, that it didn't shock me, but it was a little along the lines of what we were talking about. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do what y'all
No,
gotta do then.
I was very impressed with their showing. Even though it's preseason basketball, we're not trying to overreact. But as you mentioned, there
Mm-hmm.
were a lot of pieces out of this mix that can also have them a step further. Even Olivia Nelson Odota, I thought she came in and put in some crucial minutes with 15 points. Tina Charles, excited to see these two work in the front court. And JC Sheldon taking on a bigger
Mm.
role in the starting lineup. She was popping threes from left to right. I really enjoyed her at the college level, seeing her as a two-way player, point guard. I mean, she never stops moving. She is quick and fast. So for her to run alongside a Marina Mabrey and set her up for success, I think they really have some interesting pieces, and they're going to be, as we were talking about during the preseason, like they're going to be a feisty contender that can knock people off, and they're going to be a team that you don't want to face at all costs. So very
Yeah.
excited to see what the Sun have. It's a new era. They are rebuilding, but I think they have some solid pieces to really buy into a system and come in and make some noise here in the season.
Yeah. And I don't think Liberty fans, I don't think you guys are panicking because you
Mm-mm.
lost that game. It doesn't count. It doesn't
No.
count. So it's going to be really fun to see the Liberty continue to show their dominance when they're at full strength. And the little glimpse that we saw of their pieces of their starting lineup, and the depth coming off of the bench is still really, really exciting. So
Yep.
New York Liberty, their first game is May 17th against the Las Vegas Aces because
Ooh, that's a good
wonderful.
one.
I
Yes.
love that. And then May 22nd at Chicago Sky, which was a team that did give them a lot of trouble last year. One
Mhm.
of the biggest blowout win in preseason that people weren't trying to overreact about, but the Sky had the Liberty number last year, so we'll see about that. And then the 24th at Indiana Fever. So
Great
it's gonna
games.
be good. Great
Starting off
games, great
strong.
games. And you know, when you are the reigning champ, this is exactly what happened to Vegas these last couple seasons. Everyone is going to bring their best game against
Mhm.
you because you want that confidence of, well, we just beat the top team in the league. And so it's a target on their back. Of course, everybody has a target. But when you are that reigning champ, you have that extra target. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. They have a huge target on their back, and I can only
Mm.
imagine whenever they play the Minnesota Lynx what that game is going to look like because we know how that went down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We need that. We need that. So I think they have all the pieces to do it, but it is hard to repeat. It's hard to win one in general, but to go
Mm-hmm.
back to back, we saw the Aces try to complete a three-peat. There is a reason why it hasn't been done in so long because this league is so great. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
elite players, and teams continue to revamp and restack every single year. They're at full force. They add pieces to take them a step further. So, yeah, the target's on their back, but I think they have everything in their locker room to get it done, but it's not going to be an easy feat whatsoever.
No, no, no. The Aces went back to back in 2022 and 23. But before that, it was the LA Sparks in 01 and
Mm.
02. So it has been a minute before a few teams have gone back to back. So we'll be looking out for you, New York Liberty. Still love your Seafoam. And shout out to Big Ellie because she's also
The
back.
biggest.
And I'm so excited to also see what she has up her sleeve this
The
regular
bags.
season.
Need the
Oh, it's gonna
bags.
be
What's it
great.
looking like?
Man, what sponsorships is she gonna get this year? Like
Hello?
it's money. It's money there. All right, speaking of money, let's pay some bills. But when we come back, we'll preview the Phoenix Mercury and their new Big Three. Welcome back to the Women's Hoop Show. It's time to dive into the Phoenix Mercury. A whole new X Factor, whole new team
Yes.
going into the desert this season. Last year, we could talk about last year, but there's really no carryover. They went 19 and 21, fourth place in the West. They were a little up and down, a
Mhm.
little bit of their highest of highs, and then they had lowest of lows, like back-to-back games. It was a little confusing, but they made the playoffs. And then they were swept in that first round by Minnesota, who went on to go to the finals. Their 19 wins, though, doubled from 2023. But coming into this year, this is the first time in 20 years, there is not going to be a Diana Taurasi in a Phoenix Mercury
My
jersey.
heart.
I know. I try to hold back the tears.
I'm still not used to it. It's crazy.
Me neither. Me neither. I was watching the preseason game like, wait, where's Deke?
What's
Oh,
happening?
she's not here.
The
She's not
pain.
here. And the first time in 11 years without Brittany Griner. So
Mhm.
just a different looking Phoenix Mercury squad. And what you do have, though, returning is a Kalia Copper. You bring in an Alyssa Thomas. You bring in a Satu Sabali.
Yeah.
And this is your new big three. And they tried to build some pieces around them. But Autumn, when I watched their preseason game, and I'm going to focus on the Aces. They played 2 preseason games, one against the Aces and then recently against the Valkyries.
Yep.
But there is a large drop off
Mhm.
from that big 3. And I'm a
Yes.
little concerned because we just talked about the New York Liberty and how depth is the key to going far and winning a bunch of games.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the Mercury have enough depth to be in those upper echelon teams?
I'm glad you brought up this point. This is the exact point I was going to bring into this conversation because, yes, you bring in an exciting big three in Ka,
Mhm.
Satu, the unicorn, AT. You know, she is the engine of every team she plays on, great facilitating as a point forward. This is a team that brought in some exciting pieces, even though they lost so much in a DT and a BG. So it's a new era for them for sure. And of course, they want to play fast, they want to play free, a positionless system, but you're going to be relying on this big three heavily. So, yeah, in the
Mhm.
same sentiment, we're talking about how that championship caliber team, there's no drop off, there's depth at every single position. I truly feel like for every team who has that, that's what's going to take you to the next step when you talk about even hosting at home during playoffs. That's important. So
Yeah.
for me, when I look at the Phoenix Mercury, I'm like, all right, bet you got an AT, you got Satu, you have Ka. But then outside of that, who else outside of the big three is really going to come in and take you over that hump if there is foul trouble, which we saw in that preseason game versus the Valkyries? Satu went
Mhm.
out. Ka wasn't playing in that game as well. So now you're relying just on AT. So there are depth concerns, and that's a fact. Beyond the big three, how reliable will those role players be in those high pressure matchups when you're going up against an Aces, when you're going up against the
Yeah.
Liberty, when you're going up against the Fever, the Lynx? And I feel like there's a set group, not even a set group, there are set teams like a top 8 that are playoff teams already. So now you're
Mhm.
fighting against those groups. I think they could be like a 7 or 8. I don't see them missing the
Mm.
playoffs, but like it's going to be tough because you're going to have a lot of contenders in that middle of the pack, and that's something you want to stay away from.
Which is so, and I agree with you. It's so interesting that preseason or off season, when free agency was happening and this was groundbreaking and really big moves. And everybody, including myself, was like, oh, Alyssa Thomas, Satu, Cobb, like, who is going
Easy.
to stop them?
Yeah.
And then you get to this point where we see the product on the floor and you say, oh, they do look stoppable. Like
Yeah.
they used a lot of firepower and money and resources to get these big players, but you have in this league, it's just not enough teams.
Mhm.
Like every team can be a super team. And when I saw even at the end of that Valkyries game, the Valkyries came back. Phoenix
Mhm.
was up big.
Mhm.
And who got them that lead? Alyssa Thomas, Satu, Kalani Brown, I think did some really great minutes.
Yeah,
But
she
then
did.
the Valkyries chipped away and were able to come back and win that game. And I know the Phoenix Mercury are going to still make some final roster cuts. But even towards the end of that game, like I compared it to the Dallas game. JJ Quinterly came in and it was like an and one mixtape. Like she was really trying to make this roster, right?
Facts. Yes.
Isaiah James was like, I'm taking every open shot. I am going to be show why I deserve to make this team. when I looked at the second unit of the Phoenix Mercury, I was like, y'all want to make this team? Like you really can. There's some spots here for you to make. And it didn't feel like it was that same type of urgency or that same type of, honestly, talent level to come in and fill in these open holes that are there because you need it. You truly need it. And they're going to be looking for someone to step up and say, all right, outside of that big three, it's on me. Coming off the bench, I want to be that player. I'm not worried about Alyssa Thomas logging a lot of minutes. She's going to do that. That's what she does. So think about its regular season. She's not coming out of the game. But someone like Aka and Satu who play super aggressive, can get in foul trouble, Ka could pick up a technical. Like, these are things that you just don't know, and you just need to have that confidence from your bench. And I just don't know if that's there. So I'll be interested to see how this plays out.
Yeah, that's going to be the remaining question throughout the course of the beginning of the season. Like, they're going to be answered very quick for sure. But that bench depth is a concern. When you think about even that Valkyries game, they were outscored 51-31 from the Valkyries bench. So that in itself, and this is a team that's still trying to figure itself out. Of course, the Phoenix Mercury are too, but when you think about contending for a championship, which that's the expectation from this big three. Ka is a champion. Alyssa Thomas has been gunning for this. She's been to the final. She's been right there. I know she is trying to have another one, or excuse me, she's trying to shoot for one in general to add to her already illustrious career. And Satu, she is a dynamic player who is in that top echelon of players. She wants a championship too. So I know that is a goal. That's always a goal no matter what. But when you make these moves in free agency, like, you're not just making a move to make the move. You're making it to win. And so when I look at it, it's like, they might be a couple of pieces, one or two pieces away from that.
Which is crazy to say when you bring in these three pieces. It's kind of like, honestly, you needed this big three with DT and with BG.
Yes.
Like, now 100%. We're talking. Now we're talking.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Because I was like, okay, bet. AT's coming. DT's coming back. Like, she has to.
Maybe that's why we were so hyped. Because we didn't know DT was retiring yet. And we didn't know that BG was leaving. So then it was like, okay, this is squad.
When BG made the announcement, I was like, all right, that might be it.
Yeah. Gosh, Phoenix, you have put us through an emotional roller coaster.
I was
these
going
past
through
few
it.
Months. I can't imagine how the fans feel. Fans, you might have to call in or send us an email to tell us how you really feel.
Please.
For this season, because I said it last season, it was up and down, and you had a lot of really, really strong players. I'm curious. I don't know. And again, we said this before. Put me on. Like, maybe there is a secret hooper that is in this roster. You have someone like a Sammy Whitcomb. We know what she can do. We know she's a shooter. She's going to come off the bench or possibly even start and be solid for this team. But somebody else can have a breakout year. This is your time. You can do that on this type of team. But I think, I don't know. When you compare it to the other teams that we previewed, I don't know, Autumn.
Maybe we're asleep because the Minnesota Lynx were like, okay, we don't have the stars, but look where we're at.
You're right.
So maybe they'll prove us wrong, but right now, that's the question that remains for me. So I got to see it.
That's fair. That is fair. Maybe I'm asleep. Maybe we need to wake up.
Wake us up.
Okay. Wake us up, X Factor. Wake us up. They are going against the Seattle Storm, who we're going to talk about in just a little bit, on opening weekend, May 17th. And then they have the Sparks, May 21st. Then the Seattle Storm again, May 23rd. So little early series there between Phoenix and Seattle. They don't have to travel very far, which is really nice in those opening weeks. But Phoenix, come on, get it together. Come on, girl.
We need to see it.
We need to see it. Okay. We're going to step away for a second, but coming up next, we'll deep dive into the Seattle Storm, and then we'll hear from Aaliyah Edwards about her Washington Mystics. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Women's Hoop Show. We're still here doing a WNBA season preview, and the team that we are going to dive into next is the Seattle Storm. Woo! Seattle, I talk about an off season and kind of even last season. I was so excited and high on Seattle last year, and
Same.
it didn't really live up to those expectations. And I think internally it didn't live up to those expectations as well. When you had a Jewel Lloyd, a Skylar Diggins, and a Nneka Ogwumike all on the same team, and they finished 25-15, still pretty good, but we were like, this could be a championship team. Like, this was one of those squads that they put together. But it didn't happen that way. And Jewel is now in Las Vegas, but you bring in, you trade up for the number 2 pick, a Dominique Malonga. You still have a Gabby Williams coming back. Ezzy Magwagor, you bring in Alicia Clark, Ali Yaru, Alexi Brown, a bunch of people, a bunch of vets. That's what I think about this team. Like, this is a veteran team with players who have been journey women around the league and coming here for a united purpose. And I'm excited to see how that all shakes out. But right now, even just in preseason, they look pretty solid. I don't know. What you think?
I think I felt the same way coming into last year. And I'm still going to trust my gut that this will be a team that can still contend for a championship, because I think because of what we experienced last year of like being so high on them, they might be that sneaky team that's like, no, we're still here. Like, that same thought and feeling that you had, keep that, bottle it up, because now we have that chemistry with each other and we got stronger with the pieces that we added. The same like sentiment that we shared with New York Liberty, how they are just dangerous in every single position and how they can continue to bring pieces off the bench. You can say that for the Seattle Storm. I love what they brought in. I love how they have been able to address their issues on the 3-point line, bring in the guards that they did. The defensive identity that they hang their hat on. They led the league in blocks and steals last year. They're long. They hang their hat on that. They are just pesky and they're quick. They play in a lot of pace. They play with space. So when you think about this team and what they can do, they have everything they need. Skylar and Nneka are the vets on this team. They're the leaders for this team. And I think they can take this team to the next level. So that's what I'm going to be looking for the most. And we haven't even seen them in full force yet. They're still missing 3 key players when you think about a Dominique Malonga. She's 19 years old with such a high ceiling. She's like a guard stuck in a 6'6" body. You still got Ezzy. We didn't even see Ezzy. And she is top 3 in blocks in the league last year. And Alicia Clark, when you talk about returners, she's coming from the Aces. She brings that championship pedigree. She's been within the system before, a different system with a new coach, of course, but she knows what this franchise needs and what it's like. She returns and she is a player that will do whatever you need her to. So they have a really big, like, just exciting, I don't know, contending piece to them that I think a lot of people aren't talking about enough.
Yeah. And when we do talk about the vets, we talk about not only the leadership, it's not a question of who's going to be talking in that locker room or, during preseason already saying, Skylar and Nneka are really getting a hold of this team. But I would say when we get down to those final seconds of a game, those final minutes, the fourth quarter push, there's going to be teams in this league who are new and rookie filled and they're trying to figure out what to do. And they haven't been in those situations before. Seattle is going to be one of those teams that could win a lot of games in like the final 3 minutes because they have that experience and they just all have been there and know exactly what to do. So can't take that for granted. And that's something that doesn't come naturally to everybody. So they have that. And that's something that you can't take away, like I mentioned. The other part too that we have to address is everything that happened in that offseason with Seattle and surrounding Noelle Quinn. Just to give a little background if you missed it, but there was a allegations around head coach Noelle Quinn. It's allegedly was first reported by Jewel Lloyd, but there was an investigation and they found nothing, no wrongdoing from Noelle Quinn. Storm GM Talisha Rhea, she was fully backing Coach Quinn, and saying, we are with her. We're locked in the entire offseason, and this is our coach. So they also had some locker room issues that was going on last year. And we don't really know what happened. We don't have all the details, but you remove a piece like Jewel Lloyd and you hope that those things are solved potentially or better, or what they learned from that experience in that off season. So we'll be also keeping a lookout on off the court or locker room chemistry here for this team for the Seattle Storm.
I think overall, when you have that type of things like going in the locker room, of course, we don't know exactly what happened. But when you
Mm-hmm.
take all of that out and now you just get to hoop, like I think a lot of their teammates will just be a little bit more freer. Like now you can move forward. It's new, clean, fresh slate. Everyone's happy, it seems like,
Yeah.
and their new respective teams. And Jewel Lloyd, she's going to be a phenomenal piece with the Aces. And you talk about teams with depth, like add the Aces to that. They look like they are already in full form already. So it was just best for both parties. And now we move past this. And now we get to just see excellent basketball amongst both franchises. So excited for
Mm-hmm.
both, but hopefully all is well with everyone.
Yeah. And also the ACL bug just ran
I
through
know.
the Seattle Storm, and it breaks my heart. During training camp, Katie Lou Samuelson tore her ACL, and then still Jordan Horston and Nika Mule are out for
Mhm.
the season on ACL injuries. Ugh, I said this the last episode. I want to fight ACLs because it
Please.
has taken so many of great teams. When you think about the Seattle team, and if you were able to have a Carly, or not her sister, Katie Lou
Mhm.
Samuelson, and a Jordan Horston, and a Nika Mule coming in off the bench, like that would talk about depth and on all different areas of the court. So it just feels like
Mhm.
we're robbed from that. And I know that the Seattle Storm was kind of coming into the season hoping for that type of lineup. But it's okay. I think they're going to be solid. It's going
I
to
think
be
so
very
too.
interesting to see if they float to the top or float to the bottom, but they are going to be a solid team. And I was also looking at this roster. I'm like, this is like the X Sparks landing spot. Like so many former
Lexi,
Sparks.
yep, that is true. Lee Yuru, she had 15 points and 10 rebounds, double
Shout out
double.
Lee.
That
Yeah.
size and that skill that she brings, her and NECA, I saw that they are accountability partners. So to have
Hmm.
that type of mentor like leadership is phenomenal. NECA, I don't think enough people talk about NECA, like what she brings
Talk
consistently,
about it.
how she takes care of her body. She is a great in this game. I think we're going to see 2016 NECA every single time that she
Mm.
comes in. She brings what she brings every single game. You could never question any rep taken off. Like she's here to bring it every single possession. So I think that's just going to take you to the next level.
Even these past couple seasons, NECA has been in MVP conversations. Like
Yeah. First
even
all
so
WNBA
deep.
team
Yeah.
last year.
So deep in your career to still be able to be talked about that, especially amongst your peers,
Hmm.
is incredible.
He
And
looks great too.
she looks great. She looks
Hmm.
healthy. So I'm excited to see the Seattle Storm team. We see them. We just mentioned it on opening weekend against Phoenix, and then they go to Dallas, which should be fun, May 19th, and then again against Phoenix, May 23rd. So we'll be able to report back after opening weekend to see how they look. But I'm excited about the Seattle Storm team. All right, moving on, Autumn. Next up is the Washington Mystics, who
Hmm.
finished last season 14-26, but only missed the playoffs by one spot
Yep.
had a ton of injuries, ton of new faces, but a bright spot was rookie Aaliyah Edwards last season. Now she's coming in for her sophomore season. We have a little excerpt for you of my interview with Aaliyah Edwards from my other Odyssey women's sports show, She's Got Next. You can tune into that show for the full interview anywhere you get your podcast. But here's Aaliyah. Aaliyah, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Jordan. Thank you for having me.
Oh, so nice to meet you. I'm so excited to chat with you. Let's start first. The WNBA regular season is almost here, tipping off May 16th. How are you going into your sophomore season compared to this time last year?
I think I'm going into my sophomore season with a little bit more experience and a lot more confidence. This is going to be a great year for me. I had a great off season, so I'm just going to build off of that and just super excited for this new era of Mystics basketball and what we can bring to DC.
That's exactly what I want to get into next, this new era. So preview this Mystics team for us, because last season, it's not always how you start, but it's how you finish. You guys ended up in the playoff conversations towards the end. You bring back solid pieces, but you also have some new faces, some great draft picks. So what are the vibes since training camp going into preseason? What are the vibes in the locker room right now?
The vibes are immaculate in the locker room. I think we have a new group, a young group as well, but most importantly, a hungry group. And I've liked what I've seen so far in training camp, going into our preseason games. I feel like we're just really relentless in everything that we do, whether that's in the weight room, whether that's taking accountability in film, whether that's applying everything that we're doing on the court into the game. I think that just our mindset is headstrong, and I'm just super excited for this group. And plus, I got some more young ones with me, so our core isn't, the age gap isn't too far off.
You're not the rookie anymore. Are you so excited about that?
Yeah. I am excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for sure. As I said, sophomore season. No one can call me rookie no more, even though some do, like Slim and Kira for sure. But no, I'm just super excited to take any role that Coach Johnson wants me to have with this team. But let it be known that I got some experience under my belt, and I'm ready for more opportunities and more dubs coming this season.
More dubs. I hear it.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned it. First year head coach Sydney Johnson, now at the helm. What are some things about his coaching style and philosophy so far that you've gravitated towards?
I think one of the things that I've gravitated towards is just him trying to establish an identity off bat, which is super important with a team like ours, with the whole new a change in the organization, as well as a change in the coaching staff. And as young of a team that we are, with a lot of new pieces, it was super important for him to establish that identity. So that's one of the things that really stuck out to me, because in order to be championship contenders, you have to rely on something. You have to hold yourself to a standard each and every day, each and every practice. And it starts with those points that we emphasize in and out.
What is that identity as you're trying to form it? I know it's early, but what are those points of emphasis that you have as a team going into the season?
Listen, I'm not gonna release the whole scout now.
Yeah,
but
no, you don't have to. It's still a secret. Just
in terms
just
of like our characteristics, it's playing with joy, competing at everything that we do. Once we step into the gym, step onto the court, we're there to not only make ourselves better, but make our teammates better. Accountability is a big piece as well. And overall, I think it's just playing for the next person, playing for your teammate beside you. So I think establishing those kind of pillars, and within those pillars, obviously we can get into the basketball terms, which I am not. That's why I'm an athlete, not a coach. But we can get into those pillars. But it's the understanding that everyone is going to be on this cohesive wave of just wanting to get better, wanting to improve, and wanting to grow this whole season.
And Impact, real quick, Mystics fans love you. And I want to talk about one thing specific is the yellow and purple box braids, your iconic signature look. When I saw those box braids glued onto someone's Mystics hat in the stadium, cheering you on, twirl in the ponytail around. Like, that is real fandom. How did that feel when you saw that type of impact your rookie year?
Oh my goodness. Wow. It was so heartwarming. At first I did a double take. I'm like, wait a second. I don't see anyone else with those colored braids. But it was so cool. Just every game, that particular fan came out and he wore this hat with the purple and yellow Bach braids sewed into the top of it. And every time we score, he stands up and twirls it. And it was just so cool because, you know, going into a new team, a new environment, new city, there's obviously that feeling like, how are the fans going to accept me? And they accepted me with open arms. And just to see that just reminded me every day, like, this is why I play basketball. This is why I show out. I actually wanted to share another quick story. Like, when I was playing back at UConn, there was another little girl who, her mom was a part of the UConn football staff, and she came to her games, and she actually did her hair purple and yellow braids. And she's so excited to tell me about it. And to this day, like, I always tap into her, check in on her, because that's the impact where I feel like can make the most difference. That age group, the youth, I am all for it. I was in her position one day, even just wanting a selfie with a professional basketball player, let alone changing my hair. But yeah, I've been in that position. So to give back to the game and give back to those who pour into me, that's my biggest motivation.
That is everything. And that fan, if you are listening, please sell those hats because I would wear that so quick. I know it's hard to fit over my fro, but I would make it work. It's a good look. I love it.
Me and him, I actually just met him a couple of weeks ago at Media Day. So that was great as well. But no, me and him have been talking. We're like, we need to get something going now with these hats.
Yes, this is an opportunity here. I love it.
Yes.
I love that so much. Okay, I also want to talk about your involvement in the inaugural season of Unrivaled, which is a full court 3-on-3 league played in the off season. You killed it. You were spectacular.
Thank you, girl.
Making the finals of the one-on-one tournament. I know it was tough, but you did it. How did your involvement boost your confidence going into this season playing in Unrivaled?
I think one of the beauties of playing Unrivaled is it's 3-on-3, and it's a completely different game than 5-on-5, and different in the way where there's only 6 people on the court now, so you got to do your work on both ends of the court, both defensively and offensively. And I think within that, I was able to operate, pull some more stuff out of my bag offensively, and defensively just like hone in on some of the technicality stuff. And I think with all of that combined with the one-on-one show that I put on for the world, that was weird too. That was weird because I've never played one-on-one like in front of an audience like that before. So that was interesting. But yeah, I think just the whole concept of Unrivaled is just super important for a game, because not only young players like myself, but even like vets like Fee and Stewie, they don't have to go overseas and go through the whole stress on the body of the travel, the time difference of just like the 6 to 8 month seasons, where they can just do that in 3 months with Unrivaled. And it put me on great shape for the W season. So shout out to them. But no, it's just a great opportunity. And I'm playing alongside W athletes that I play in the summer and the season. So to get those extra reps against them, with them, it was just great. And I built so many new relationships and ongoing relationships, and I just loved it.
I loved it for you. And you talked about in front of an audience. It was also all of us watching at home too. I can't imagine that one-on-one pressure. Another area that I have to talk to you about is your UConn Huskies won the NCAA Women's Basketball National Championship this past April. Your former teammate, Paige Beckers, earned her first title, then goes #1 overall in the draft to the Dallas Wings. You were in Tampa when that confetti dropped on your UConn. What was that feeling like to be able to celebrate that huge win with your alma mater?
Wow, that feeling, I just want to frame it. It's a framed memory for me because that's the dream. Like you go to UConn, you get recruited by UConn, you commit, and that is the standard. The standard obviously is to win, but the natty is always in the back of your head each and every season. And unfortunately, like I wasn't able to do that. But being in Tampa and to see my sisters do that, wow, like I almost cried. I didn't. I didn't, but I almost cried, and I was like, wow, it was just a great moment. I honestly, once the final buzzer sounded, like I wanted to sprint onto the court, but I was like, you know what? I'm an alum now. I got to keep it cute. Can't be too much now. But it was just a great moment for me to celebrate with my sisters. They truly deserve it. It was a long time coming. And yeah, I couldn't be prouder, especially for Paige, like, because, you know, me and Paige came up in the same class. We were recruited the same year, spent 4 years together, kind of kicking rocks that I didn't stay an extra year, but, you know, it's a win-win situation. So, yeah, I'm just super proud of her and the whole team.
Well, you witnessed Paige. You had a front row seat to her growth over those years. Like you said, you came in the same class. Now you saw her get drafted just like you did last year. And now you're going to get to play against her in the biggest women's pro league in the world. Like,
Right.
How have you witnessed that growth and how excited are you to get to play against her?
Oh my gosh, I can speak all day about Paige and just how great of a person she is and how great of a teammate she is as well. You know, you get that 2-for-2 combo with her. Everything is so genuine with her, and she really truly cares about everyone she interacts with. But no, I'm just super proud of as much of the injuries and everything she's dealt with. She's always just been so graceful in everything that she does day to day. And I was just obviously even more happy that she was able to get a championship, because from the day we went on a recruiting official visit, the goal that we all made was like, we are going to leave the school with a natty. Like, we're going to find a way. And for her to actually accomplish that, it's just amazing. And I think it's just going to continue over into the pros. It's obviously going to be weird to play against her. Mind you, we play against each other all the time in practice. She called me out during Unrivaled, actually, with the one-on-one, saying that we can't play one-on-one and she would beat me. But that's a lie, because I can pull up some footage from practice. But
at least I have the receipts. So
yeah, we can clock it. We can clock it. But no, it's gonna be just fun to play against her. It's just gonna feel like we're back in practice again, checking the ball up and playing one-on-one. Like it's just gonna be super fun. I'm not gonna see it as like a huge competition. So, but anyways, just super grateful and to have her and to play alongside her. But yeah, we'll see who wins at the end of the day.
We'll see. June 22nd. I know you have that circled on your calendar. That's when the Dallas Wings and the Mystics play each other for the very first time. Aaliyah Edwards, forward for the Washington Mystics. Thank you so much for joining the show. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, Autumn. That was Aaliyah. First of all, she's so adorable.
I love her.
Obsessed with her.
Love her down. I've been able to cover her for all of her college career, actually. And she's so sweet. She's so genuine. I caught up with her during the Final Four. And just to see her celebrate her team in that fashion, she was just with this group the year before. they brought her right into that. Like her fingerprints are all over UConn's
Mhm.
success. So just to see this organization, this program get that recognition and get back to the mountaintop, it was really cool for her. And just the entire like greats to be there too. It was insane. I turned around, I was like Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird. It was great. It was insane. But Aaliyah Edwards to be in that mix, she's one of the greats too.
She really is. She really is. And we got to see just how great she was and is when she was hooping in Unrivaled. And I know you
Yes.
wanted to touch on that a little bit because, man, not only did she get off to, what was it, a 12-0? No, that was the final score, 12-0 against Breanna Stewart in a one-on-one, which nobody saw coming, let the internet on fire. But it's just a confidence around her
Mhm.
that like a glow when you do something like that and when you play so well in the off season when a lot of people are watching,
Yeah.
you can't help but bring that with you to the WNBA season.
100%. I'm so glad we're talking about this because she put the entire nation on notice. Like, I was in awe. I was shook. Like, I know Aaliyah's a dominant player, but that was just a calm before the storm when we saw her take down Breanna Stewart. I was like, okay, I see you. Like, beating the owner at that to start off the
Yeah.
first game. I was like, bet. All right, Aaliyah, let's see what you got. Showed us time after time. Went up against Alicia Gray next, one of the best 3v3 players. I mean, she's an Olympian as well. Yet Aaliyah Edwards held her own continuously. Went up against Arika Gumbawale. We're talking about dominant guards. Like these are different
Right.
positions we're
Oh
talking
my
about.
gosh.
Aaliyah plays in the front court. Arika Gumbawale, we know her to be like that clutch 3-point certified bucket getter, known for her clutch shooting. Aaliyah didn't blink. Like she came in and handled business once again. And then you go up against Nafisa Collier in that championship game and seal the deal. I think her growth, what she was able to experience in Unrivaled, that was just a testament to what we're going to continue to see her build up on as she goes throughout her career. So I was so excited to see her have that type of showing. I think she put a lot of people on notice. And that was a statement. That was just like a little appetizer what we're going to get in year 2 from Aaliyah. So when you're going up against the best, now you can bring that into the league. Like you're playing in space. You can't take off any possession when you're playing 3v3.
Right.
So I think seeing how players got better in Unrivaled, you're going to see that carry over more. More people are going to be want to be a part of this. More people are going to want to grow their game, develop their game in this league, and then take it to the W. So shout out to Aaliyah. 1v1, yeah, she did that.
Yeah, runner up. I mean, especially right after her rookie season. How fun. And when you think about what Washington has done in this offseason and from the draft, we talk about how they I think kind of won the draft. Another punch in the face to ACLs because Georgia Amore is not going to be a part of this team this season. But then you bring in a Sonia Citron who Cheryl, last episode was like she could be rookie of the year, and I don't think that is a wrong or outlandish statement because she can play so many positions. Kiki Ariafin, what she has done coming in, I think she can just be a solid role player. Like just come in and do your work and go home. Like she definitely feels that way of what type of pro she's going to be. So I'm excited to see that. And then Brittany Sykes, Slim, she's also coming off of a Unrivaled championship, and she has so much confidence, so much hype because she was so up and down last season. She was injured 2 separate times, so she didn't really get that flow. But these are players, when you put them all together, Washington is a fun, exciting team. You lose some people, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a repeat of last season. I think they're going to be very much in the mix if everyone stays healthy.
Yeah, it's a blow that you lost Ariel Atkins, but I feel okay about this team still. Like when they started off 0-12, to start the season, it was decided by one, like single digits throughout that course of
Yes,
the
they were
losing streak.
close.
They were right there every single game. So to see like a Sony come in and fill that scoring void, I thought already she was pro ready. she's not just like fitting in, she's standing out. So to see her come in and just embody who she knows she is. Yes, she had that welcome to the league moment with Brittany Griner. But
Yes.
overall, I'm really excited to see her grow at this next level. Like Notre Dame really develops their guards, everyone, honestly, but Guard U has just, I don't know, they just curated so many dominant players. So to have them pro ready, we saw that in Sony come in right off the back and have the type of performance she did. But honestly, I'm really excited to see Shakira Austin have a breakout year. Like,
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
time.
injuries have held her back. I've loved her game at Maryland. I've loved her game at Ole Miss. And we haven't seen that. We've seen small sample sizes because she's been on the bench for the most part in her W career. She looks strong. She looks healthy. We saw her during Unrivaled. It's time. Like Shakira Austin's time is right now. And I think she can help this team.
It's a great call. That is a player that I look forward to watching take the court because of how dominant she is and how she can be. And we had her on the podcast last season, and she said pretty much the same thing that Aaliyah Edwards said. The vibes in the locker room, even though we were losing, were immaculate, and we were still together. And I think that shows a lot, especially going into this season when they're like, yeah, record schmeckered. Like, it doesn't matter. We were in those games. We still felt together. It was just some tough breaks. And that's good to hear because 0-12 can tear a locker room apart. It could go left. And just by the fact that they were so close to the playoffs still last year, I think they got a taste and they were like, look how bad we started and look where we're finishing. Now, if we could start just like how we finished last season, we are in those conversations. So we're in the mix. And I that's what I think about with this Washington Mystics team. But thank you to Aaliyah for chatting with us, giving us a little inside scoop. She's the best. We love you. You're awesome. For the Mystics, they kick it off with the Atlanta Dream on May 16th, the very first game of the WNBA season, which we got a little taste of that from the preseason. So that's going to be really exciting. Also, shout out to the Atlanta Dream. I know you're doing sideline for them. The first 6 points of their game was BG's back-to-back threes. Come on.
I got used to seeing her in an Atlanta Dream jersey quick. I love it. Atlanta loves it. Ryan Howard loves it. Carl Smezko loves it. Everyone loves it. And her working with Bree Jones, chef's kiss. Oh my gosh. I'm so ready for the Dream. This is what we needed. We needed those key pieces.
It looks good. It looks good on him. You guys should be really excited. I was like, stop it. Stop it. BG.
Back to back was
Actually,
crazy.
Don't.
Please don't stop. Keep going. But like, need that. Inject it in my veins because she went crazy.
So fun. So fun. Brittany Griner shooting threes, making threes. Bree Jones too. And I think that was against Indiana. Bree Jones makes a three over DeWanna Bonner, and they just run back just laughing because she's like, this is what I do now. This is, I shoot and make threes now. Hilarious. May 18th at Connecticut Sun, and then May 21st at the Golden State Valkyries. We are here, Autumn. We made it through the offseason, through the preseason. It is now time for the WNBA regular season to start, and I'm so excited that we are going to still be able to fangirl all throughout the season. And thanks so much for being here. Another great episode.
Thank you for having me. No, this always gets me ready and prep for every single team. So this is good that we talk it out. But now that the season is here, we're really going to be able to get into a lot of things. So looking forward to that for sure.
Yay! Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an update. Your support means the world. And if you're feeling generous, leaving a quick rating or review helps more Hoops fans discover the show. And you can now see us on our brand new YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe there. Shoot us an email at women'shoops@odyssey.com to tell us what's on your mind. We want to hear your hottest takes, your burning questions, and all your feelings about all things women's hoops. We just might feature your note on the show. That's Women's Hoops at Odyssey.com. The Women's Hoop Show is an Odyssey original podcast hosted by me, Jordan Robinson. Today, our co-host was Autumn Johnson. Our producer is Phil Switek. Our video team is led by Kurt Courtney and includes Tim Meikle, Evan Cox, Allison Jeffrey, and Lauren Vieira. Our executive producers are Greg Holtzman, Asha Saluja, Danny Freisinger, Maddie Sprunkheiser, and Leah Reese-Dennis. And special thanks to Moira Curran and Josephina Francis.